स्वाध्याय टीवी। डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी।
Namaskar. A very good morning to all of you friends. Since last many lectures we have been discussing about print media in mass communication. We have discussed a lot, but let us begin with the new topic about which a brief has been given in the last session. It is about the ethics of journalism. What do we understand by ethics of journalism? What are ethics basically? Ethics of journalism is one of the most well-defined branches of the media ethics. Primarily, it is frequently taught in the school of journalism also. Journalistic ethics tends to dominate media ethics, sometimes almost to the exclusion of other areas. Topics covered by journalism include many of the points. We just have a look or glance on the PPT shown in the screen. What are basically the ethics of media when we call? It can be news manipulation, truth, public interest, privacy, fantasy, taste and conflict with the law. All these understand as media ethics. What do we tend by each one of them? Why do we need to inculcate these among the people or among the media people even? Why do we need to know that these are the media ethics? One, on the professional side, it is required. Why? Because while delivering any kind of news in any kind of printed material or print media, what do we understand? What do we need to show to the people? What do we need to exactly want our target group to read is based on media ethics. Why we need media ethics? So that the news, when we call news, what is a news? It is some information which we are delivering to our target group, to somebody who would like to read, somebody who would like to know the happenings around the whole of the world, their nation, their region or maybe their own town. Why town? Why region? Why state? And what kind of information we are delivering to the target group? These information makes our value. It shows our authenticity. It shows what we exactly tend to give to the people. Is it appropriate which actually the target group wants? Is it appropriate which actually the people would like to read? And is the information delivered by us correctly quoted? Earlier times, it was like there are just one or two print media, but nowadays we have a lot of competition. And in this era of competition, media needs to be very much precise. The media needs to understand what information is to be delivered, how it is to be delivered and up to what extent it is to be delivered. When we say print media, again friends, print media is something which the target group or the people are going to read. When we read something, what do we understand? It directly reaches to our brain, it touches to our heart, and so we cannot play with the heart and brain of the people of our own country or nationwide or across the world. So, some ethics are framed. These ethics need to be followed when we say we need to print something. When you try to print something, you should know, you should understand what you are printing is correct. It is not manipulated. And so, our first point of media ethics is news manipulation. News can manipulate and be manipulated. Governments and corporations may attempt to manipulate news media. Governments, for example, censorship. There are many censorships and corporations by share ownerships. The methods of manipulation are subtle and many. Manipulation at times can be voluntary or involuntary also. Those being manipulated may not be aware of this. See the propaganda, how news are propaganda, how news are shown, how the news are revealed to the people. Do you feel that the news provided to us through print media is always authentic? Is always the fact which we see? Is it the fact which we understand? At times it happens that in some event or at some place we are present when a particular incident has happened. What happens? Do you feel that what you have seen in the place of accident, maybe an accident, is the same thing which is quoted in the newspaper? At times it is not, friends. We need to not manipulate the things. We need to present the things correctly and precisely as it has happened, but we do it. At times we do it for publicity, at times we do it for maybe an issue rising. We all know that media can elaborate a thing and media can precise a thing. What do we want exactly? Manipulation at times may help if it is a positive agenda. If the agenda is to be propaganda, it has to be publicized very positively. You need to manipulate, you need to precisely give more elaborated information. But what happens? What do? We basically elaborate a news without understanding its appropriateness, without understanding the target group, how it is going to affect to the people. Is it going to be emotionally affected? Is it going to be adopted by the people? Is it going to be understood by the people? We don't understand. We just write. We just manipulate and write at times, which may really affect the brains, the minds and the hearts of the target group. So, news manipulation should be very much precise when we say. If we go through any kind of newspaper, let us have a look on today's newspaper itself. See this. It has just written, what has been written? The news is about a star cast. A star cast is going to talk to a sports person, which is Sania Nehwal. What do we understand from this? Is this news actually needed to be printed or highlighted? If highlighted, yes, to what extent it should be highlighted? To what extent it should be given on the front page of any local paper? It is just an addition of a newspaper. This was just an example. Do we need to propaganda this? Do we need to publicize this? Yes, if it was required, it is to be publicized. Why it is required? The purpose may be different. The purpose of making people read about this may be different, but when it is correct, it is all right. But when it is manipulated, just if you want to highlight a conflict between two people or two enemies are going to talk and you manipulate things, gives rise to a different issue in all. So, when we say things to be manipulated, news to be manipulated, it should not be manipulated in a way that it affects the personal life of any kind of public figure or a non-public figure. There are many sad happenings in our country, friends, in our surroundings also. But when the sad happenings are manipulated and highlighted, it gives entirely different scenario to the happening. We have many issues related to females, we have many issues related to crime. There are many crimes happening. Rather than stopping, when we print something which is not required, the happenings are encouraged by us only. So, when we say that ethics should be followed, why not to stick to the truth only? Why just to manipulate things and send or to print? So, while printing, the manipulation part has to be sticked on. It should not be exceeded to the required extent, and as far as possible, facts should be presented rather than propaganda or rather than publicizing what is not required. Let us have a look on the second point of the ethics. The second point is truth. We all know what truth is. Truth may be conflict with many other values. This is very much important, friends. When we say truth, what is truth? It is the fact, again, as we discussed in the earlier point also, what exactly is happening should be quoted. But when we tend to put the fact in front of the people, in front of the public, in front of the print media, what happens? We have values, but are we able to maintain those values? Are we able to sustain those values? Are we able to present the facts in front of the people? We are not that bold enough. but the media, the print media needs to be bold enough. They have to present what is the fact. They have to present what is actually happening. They cannot play with the facts. The print media cannot play with the facts. They have to quote the way they are. They have to present it in front of the people the way it is happening. If we say there are lot many campaigns going on, say for example Swachh Bharat, in today's paper only a percentage is given that this much percentage of Swachhta Abhiyan has been quoted, or it has been developed, or it has been continued. Is it the fact what you are saying? Is it a perfect happening of what you are saying? Say for example some incident has happened in your city, in your neighborhood. What is seen, what is felt, is it the same which has been printed in the paper, or it has been elaborated, or something extra additions which are not required are quoted just to divert the mind of the people? What has been printed, what we are tending to print, what we exactly want the things to be printed, do we put that? Are those things quoted inside? If yes, it means we are printing the facts that are happening. But if no, we are playing with the facts. We are not intending to play or intending to give correct information in front of the people. So, while writing, basically the ethic of truth has to be followed, rather than deviating the minds of the people, rather than deviating the attention of the people to something which is not required, to something which is not useful, to something just to make a storytelling, or maybe just to express your views. You cannot be biased. When we say we need to give correct information, it should be 100% correct. It should not have your own opinion. The print people or the journalists, they are not expected to give the information of their own feel. It is the information which has happened actually. You cannot present, you cannot express your views, you can quote the words, you can put your pen inside, but you should present what is the fact, what has exactly happened, what is actually the mind, and what is actually what has happened in the correct scenario. Now, let us move to the third point of ethics. What is it? It is the public interest. Who is the public and what is the interest? Revelation of military secrets and other sensitive government information may be contrary to public interest, even if it is true. However, public interest is not a term which is easy to define. What is interest? What is public? Public is a great or big mass. What mass is wanting your information? What mass is exactly precisely wanting what is happening, or what is the interest of people? Public interest basically means we are attracting a maximum large scope of mass to read the content. When we say print media, it is not just newspapers, we have many magazines also. We have discussed in our earlier sessions that there are different area specific magazines, area specific books, area specific newspapers also. Newspapers rather reveal the information across the world, across the nation, across the region, across a state or a city itself. So, what is our interest? What is the interest of mass who wants to read? What is the interest of the people who actually want to read, who actually want to gain some information in a specific area? When we say some magazine, what is a magazine? Say for example, this magazine. What do we do when we select any print media? We see the content part. What is the content part? The content part tells us about the stories or about the information covered in complete magazine. And so, after having a look on the content part, we can select, we can opt for a magazine, we can opt for a reading material rather, opt for a printed material, what we want to read, what we want to gain, what information we want to share. Along with the fact part, along with the manipulation part, it is always about the interest also. For example, I may be interested in reading some beauty tips, or maybe some health issues or health based programs, or what is happening or what can be taken care of, and maybe you are interested in something what is very much patriotic or some sport kind of thing, or maybe some business oriented thing. Then what do? even starting from newspapers, magazines, books, leaflets, everything. In each kind of printed material, the interest is served. The basic area of information is served. What area of information you want, what extent of information you want. In newspapers, maybe just a daily happening or day-to-day progress, or maybe the day-to-day incidents of the area can be covered. Mainly what happens in a newspaper? In a newspaper, we get information regarding the surroundings. We have one business page, we have one sport related page, we have one page which is dedicated to a district, specific district where the newspaper is distributed, and the happenings of that area are shown. Maybe some government projects, or maybe some campaigns taken by the political leaders or any of the public figures or the government is highlighted. In a magazine, precisely we have many information. Magazines are basically subject based also. They have some information which is area specific, which is subject specific. What do we understand by subject specific? It serves the interest of the people, it serves the interest of the mass, may it be business, may it be women oriented, may it be daily happenings, may it be government oriented. There are various booklets also which are published or which are sent or printed by government, giving information about the schemes, giving information about the services they are providing, giving information about the various functionings and administrative structure of various departments. Even the companies, even the malls, nowadays everywhere everyone is opting for printed material. Why printed material? They give or they access people to read the content, to read the things which they are providing at any time. If they have a manual with them, we can read it at our comfortable time. It is not necessary that we need to remain present in front of a television set. We need to remain present in front of any kind of media. If you have a paper, whenever I am feeling, I can read it. It gives a detailed information which maybe sometimes or at times other media cannot provide. So, this kind of printed material serves the public interest. But every time the things cannot be publicized as I quoted. If it is some information which is related to Army, Navy or Air Force of a country, we cannot reveal all information. It can be these informations need to be manipulated at times just to make people aware of the functioning, because that is an area where some privacy is required. That is the area where some kind of individuality is required, where some kind of man-to-man conversation is required rather than printing of things. So, the public interest should be considered by the news media or by the printed media. Let us move to the next ethic. The next ethic is privacy, that is given in the slide. What is privacy? Privacy, as we all know friends, salacious details of the lives of public figures at times is central content in many media. Publication is not necessarily justified simply because the information is true. Privacy is also a right and one which conflicts with free speech. What do we understand by privacy, friends? Even I am living, even you are living. In our individual life, many things happen which we do not want other person to know. Not even in a family, we do not want a person to know. But actually what happens? When one turns out to be a public figure or an individual big brand name, the publicity matters. Even if you are going out, it is revealed in public. Even if you are sleeping, it is revealed in public. Even if you are dating, it is revealed in public. Even if you are fighting at home, it is revealed in public, and the print media always wants to print everything. What extent of privacy is to be maintained is our own right. As I just showed earlier, that Shah Rukh Khan talking to Sania, if he is going to give a personal call, does it need to be printed? Yes or no? If you want to print, if Shah Rukh Khan himself wants it to be printed, it should be printed. If he does not want, then why the media should interfere? Very, very, very much private things at times are popularized in media. The ethics actually does not permit this. the ethics actually does not allow us to print private happenings of any kind of public figure. Do the public figure has no right to roam about? They do not have family, they do not have their individuality, they cannot go for a movie or a date or maybe anywhere. What do? We as print media start printing everything. We as print media, if two friends don't fight, we do fight. Being friends, we do fight. But why to put it on paper? Will we like our names to be quoted in paper as we fought with somebody or we had a fight with our friend? Do we expect our personal things to come on newspaper? Whatever we do, wherever we go. But what happens? We do not understand this. And what happens is the private things of any public figure, any brand name or any brand person is always highlighted. So, the privacy part of any individual person has to be kept in mind, has to be ethically followed and then only publicized. Anything happening in serials, all of us are fond of serials. What are we interested in? What happened with the friend? What happened with the main lead character? What happened with the villain? Who is the vamp of the serial? What she is going to do? What the hero will do? How he will do? Whether he will marry thrice, 4 times, 5 times? It is that curiosity we have in our soap operas or those things which are meant for entertainment. Same thing we want in our personal life also. We are always interested in others' life, and that is what print media is understanding, and we try to quote it as print media just to get a mileage, just to get a popularity. I just don't understand when we talk about ethics, friends, when we talk about privacy. If there is a political leader, if there is a national hero, if there is a sports person, or if there is a film star, maybe any public figure, any kind of public figure doing anything in his or her personal life, does it affect the growth of a country? Does it affect your individual development of a firm? Yes or no? If the answer is no, why to publicize the private life of anyone? It should be kept personal, it should be kept confidential. So, let us understand the privacy part and then come into print media. Then follow this ethic as one of the most important ethic and quote things, friends. Print media just to get a mileage, a footage, or just to add mirch masala in any kind of news. We cannot play with private life of any people. It may be a layman also and it may be a celebrity also. So, moving on to the next point of ethics is fantasy. Let us have a look on the slide. The next point of the ethics of journalism is fantasy. When we say fantasy, fantasy is an element of entertainment which is legitimate goal of media content. It fantasizes. Journalism may mix fantasy and truth with resulting ethical dilemmas at times. National Enquirer, Jason Blair scandal, Adnan Hajj photographs controversy. What are these? What do we understand by these, friends? These were just some examples of fantasy and print media. We want people to fantasize. Fantasy is something we can say that we are dreaming of or it is dreamt about. What do we dream? What we want to see? It is something which we mix with the factual things. What is factual? Fact. Along with fact, we give some information which the reader wants to read, whether it has happened or not, whether it has actually occurred or not. Why we want them to read? So, to start with the thought process, whether it has happened or not, ऐसा तो हुआ होगा. What we think, ये तो किया होगा. Why so? Why you have to be judgmental? Why we want to fantasize about some incidents? Because somebody is murdered, there may be these many enemies, this must have happened. You look on to the facts, you print the facts. You cannot fantasize and put your own extra mind in writing, in printing. It should stick to the facts, it should stick to the non-fantasy part of any incident. non-fantasy part of any kind of happening. When we say at times fantasy is required, we do understand, but then look into the topic of printing. Again I am saying, where you say it is purely judgmental, when I say you fantasize, when it is a positive thing, when it is something which is very much appealing, where you want some change, you can fantasize, you can make your people understand. For example, we say Swachh Bharat. What is Swachh Bharat? Clean India, which was dreamt by Mahatma Gandhi ji also. What do we understand? We make them fantasize that, see, if you are going to keep your country clean, what happens? We will have a fantastic clean country. All of us dream about going to abroad. Why abroad? Just because it is wow, it has lot of greenery, it has good roads, it has good infrastructure, it has good development. Then why not India? If we give this kind of example, this is a positive fantasy. This is a fantasy where we want our people to bring a positive change, to adjust into a positive environment. Journalism should follow these positive fantasies. When we say health related issues, we have many health related issues, friends, in our country. Female education, female health, children's health, all these are very much controversial, debated, and at times well dreamt happenings of our country. For all such issues, for all such positive change, why not we say fantasy? Why not put fantasy of print media in these issues? All these issues help to bring a positive change. Fantasy always needs to be understood when we say it in print media. See, when we are giving examples of magazines also, we say health. Whenever health part is shown or whenever some beauty part is shown, what we do? We show a core face and then a beautician turning a core face into a very beautiful or model or photogenic face. What is it actually? We dream of it, we fantasize it. We imagine ourselves by looking at the photograph that even I look like this, after the beautification, the photogenic face turns to be like this. In computers at times, the media graphics, we are shown this is just a fantasy. But what happens? This fantasy helps us to make a turnover. It helps us to change, it helps us to grow. Even if education is to be promoted, what we say to our kids, what is being printed? Padhoge to aage badhoge. What is that? You show them a dream of good post, you show them a dream of good job, you show them a dream of good house, a good family. This kind of fantasy is to be involved in print media. This kind of fantasy can be mixed with the facts of print media, and this basically helps us to grow the nation. And being in print media, friends, the print media people, the journalists have a very big responsibility on their shoulders. How to bring change, how to put facts in front of the people, how to develop the sensitivity part of the journalism or sensitivity part of the happenings, sensitivity part of the country. For all these, the responsibility lies on the shoulders of the journalists or the print media people who are involved in any kind of print media. There are 2 to 3 more ethics which we need to discuss, but that shall be continued in the next session. For now, we have discussed some of the ethics, and let us give a thought on these ethics again and again, so that we can understand and while before coming into any kind of profession related to print media, we tend to follow them. Till then, namaste.
स्वाध्याय टीवी